Welcome to NYJ today. What is going on, Jets fans? We are happy to be with you. It is free agency time. I gotta be honest with you, I'm holding tears back right now because I just checked my...
He's about to cry, Jack.
I just checked my phone and bad news. Curtis Samuel, wide receiver of the Carolina Panthers, is now a Washington Redskin. I am devastated. I really wanted Curtis Samuel, so...
How sad do you feel right now?
It's right now, honestly, I'm feeling like a 7.5, 8 right now.
He was bummed out.
I am feeling pretty sad.
I told him, we got to pick it up.
So, Jason Green's in the chat. Let me bring that down. Sorry, boys. Well, what he says, what is up? What is up with you, friend?
Hey.
Welcome to the stream. We are happy to see you in the chat. So,
I thought you had like a little sound for
Nate is in the chat. Say that again?
I thought you had like a little sound.
I don't know if he's a new subscriber. Jason Green, are you new to the channel? Let us know in the chat. We would love to know. So Nate says, hate to say it, guys. Everyone is saying the Patriots win free agency. I don't know about that. So how do you feel about that?
I gotta read it. Yeah,
hate to see it, guys. Hate to say it, guys. Everyone is saying the Patriots win free agency.
I know, man. They're talking about Bill Belichick following his year 2000 blueprint for success. But I'll tell you, everywhere I look, ESPN, NBC, Jets are getting an A rating in their signings thus far, and free agency just started. So I'll take that.
We will talk about the positives because there are positives. Again, he was a personal favorite of mine, Curtis Samuel. It doesn't mean that we're not going to get a wide receiver. I still think the Juju is still a possibility. And I'm on board with Juju. I think only in the sense that I think that he adds versatility to the team. So
I don't see us going after Galladay.
Jason is new, so we're going to just level up a little bit. Thanks for coming, man. We do appreciate it. So he says it could have been worse. It could have been the Dolphins free agency, I'd imagine.
Ooh, who's that? Who said that?
That's Jason Green.
Jason's so right. If he would have went within the division, that would have been...
Yeah.
That would have been awful.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. That would have been torture.
Like, you know what that would have been like? Maybe not the same level, but remember when we were worried about Peyton going to the Dolphins?
Yeah, no, he was interested.
God, we would have had Tom and Peyton to go against.
Yeah.
That would have been some sick joke.
Yeah,
sick joke.
That would have been torturous. So, yeah. Welcome to the channel and welcome to the show. So we are going to go ahead, I think, and just go ahead and get started with the first topic of the night, which is going to be linebacker Jarrad Davis. So, Jarrad Davis. Let me just make sure I got my little...
I'm indifferent about this.
You're indifferent about what?
About the signing.
Jarrad Davis?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad signing.
I just don't think... I don't care one way or the other, to be honest with you.
So... I care, and I'm going to talk about him. Because Jarrad Davis, I think
on
that...
the practice squad, though.
He was not on the practice squad. Do not just start making shit up.
He had 2 touchdowns.
He's a linebacker. We're talking about Jarrad Davis right now. The linebacker from the Lions.
I'm way down the list. My apologies.
Yeah. So, linebacker Jarrad Davis. Yeah, dude. We were just talking about it. Straight Fire, welcome to the show, dude. We are happy to have you. Yeah, dude. That hurts. We were just talking about it. So I think it's actually a good fit for the Redskins. I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback. I guess they're keeping Fitzpatrick. I think they might be looking to draft a quarterback. They smell like a team that maybe could trade up to acquire a quarterback. I don't know what they'll end up doing, but that could be interesting. So, yeah. Anyway, we were talking about Jarrad Davis. We're not going to spend terribly long on him because some people don't really feel too strongly about him one way or the other, kind of like what you were saying. But a 1-year deal, $5.5 million.
I was thinking Josh Adams.
No, it's okay. So the deal includes a $3 million base salary with a $2.5 million signing bonus. So that basically means he's going to be on the team. Like, they're not going to be in a situation where he's like a potential cut at the end of training camp. Like, unless he's just playing terrible in training camp. I don't really see this as a risky move. Wouldn't you say?
Oh, no, absolutely. I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't know why I had Josh Adams on my brain. Well, no, I think this is a perfectly good signing.
Yeah, well, so he's like a speed, athletic kind of linebacker, and he's going to be able to chase guys sideline to sideline. The one thing that I saw in my takeaway when I was breaking like just a little bit of film down on him, he does seem to get overly aggressive Like he'll take bad angles sometimes on players when he just needs to make sure he's like in line with them. He's like kind of running towards them aggressively rather than making sure he ensures a tackle. So that's one little negative I saw, but he does have a lot of sack production. 10 sacks in his first 3 seasons.
I like that it solidifies the linebacker crew a little bit, especially with Mosley coming back. I just think
a little louder.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think that it solidifies the linebacking crew a little bit more secure than what we had last season.
Yes.
So, I think a solid foundation. I mean, I'm not saying all-star talent, but I think a good signing, quality signing, and consistent play, which is the most important thing.
Yes, exactly. And it's a stopgap thing. Like, we are transitioning from a 3-4 to a 4-3. So you have to keep in mind that there's going to be some rough spots, especially on defense this first year. And that's what actually happened with the 49ers. When they transitioned, when they had Robert Saleh, his first year wasn't very good.
No, but there was clear signs that they were building towards something, though.
Well, right, because he didn't have his pieces yet.
Right, but I'm just saying during that time, it wasn't like you weren't getting something like a return on your investment. Like you saw progress, and we've also seen Jet teams where it's been the same for like 3 years in a row, and there's no sign of anything.
I don't think that's a concern with him. I think that Robert Saleh is going to be able to install his defense. I think it's just going to take some time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, we had that. What was that? First or second stream topic, which was, what would Robert Saleh have to do to disappoint you? Remember, we had that topic.
We did have that topic, yes. And that's the thing. Like, I'm prepared for our defense to be like middle of the road this year because Lawson. And again, we're gonna talk about all these dudes. We're really excited about Carl Lawson. Our defense is on the up and up, I think. It's just not there completely because we still don't have an elite cover corner.
Right.
And our linebacking crew needs a transition, a whole makeover.
Yeah, I mean, here's a question for you. What do you think is going to perform more successful? And that can include consistency, which is based on where we're heading. And I know it's still early. We haven't even been to the draft yet. But based on what you see so far, do you think the offense will be stronger or do you think the defense will be stronger on the team?
Oh, that's a great question. It's too early to tell, I think, though.
But if you had to make a call right now, let me go first. I'm going to do mine.
Sure.
My gut reaction is exactly where you were trending, which is I actually think, based on the aggressiveness that the front office has right now on the offensive side of the ball, as I trend right now, my gut is telling me that the offense has a higher potential for success.
Because you like Corey Davis? That's right.
He knows.
All right. So Straight Fire says Jarrad Davis is a 1-year deal. So if it works, great. It doesn't. If it doesn't, it's fine. And that's absolutely the point here. What's up, Future TV? Welcome to the stream. You are a new person in our stream. We salute you, sir. Thank you for coming to the show. Same thing with Gwydion. I don't recall you being in many of our streams, so we're going to do that one more time. Welcome to the show again.
We'll keep doing it all night. Don't tempt us.
So Gwydion says, any backer is better than what we have had the last few years. I don't know if it's that necessarily as it was like... Well, maybe you're right, actually, because the speed in our linebacking position has been bad. Like, Neville Hewitt, you can compliment him all you want. That dude cannot cover. Right. He doesn't have the speed, and that's why he's not going to – I don't think he's going to be on the team this year, is because he's not a cover guy, and that's what you need.
Weird issues of just players well past their prime, scattered in different parts of the team. Like, if you think about it, in odd locations.
Well, we also had a lot of backups on the field last year. We didn't have a lot of starting quality players. I mean, that's why we went 2-14. So, alrighty. So, so that's a great comment to throw in there. So, Jason Green says, don't know. Cashman is fast. Now, dude, listen. I actually like Cashman in this defense, and he's bringing out a great point. He's super fast, and he's extremely, extremely athletic.
Right.
So, with Blake Cashman, the biggest thing is this dude needs to stay healthy. He hasn't stayed healthy. He didn't stay healthy in college. He had shoulder problems. And he's had problems in the NFL with staying healthy. If he stays healthy, I actually kind of like him, and I think that he could make some noise with, a chance to start at linebacker. I mean, that would be interesting to see him in a more aggressive role where he can cover and react.
I think especially if he's in rotation.
Yeah.
Yep. I'd be all right with that.
That would be cool. Good point to throw out there. Julio Vargas, you also are new. Welcome to the show, sir.
Yo, what's up?
Thank you for coming by.
Thank you.
So we're going to move on to topic 2, unless you want to say anything else about Mr. Jarrad Davis. I'm excited about it. I think we needed him pretty bad.
No, I like that. What do you think of Josh Adams? Do you know who Josh Adams is?
I know who Josh Adams is.
What do you think of it?
He's a running back. I don't care.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Now you understand my different.
Josh Davis is his name, and he's a backup running back. We re-signed him. So it's a matter of really just like another running back who's young and could potentially be okay with good coaching. Like he needs some developing, I think.
Yeah.
The guy that I'm looking for, right now, as of this moment, is Ty Johnson, the running back. He flashed a little bit against the Raiders. He showed some really good speed, and he caught a couple of passes in that game as well. I actually like Ty Johnson in the backfield as a backup, as a change of pace maybe. And again, I'm really still hoping we draft a running back. It just needs to be in the middle rounds. I don't want to take a running back early in the NFL draft.
So some mocks are throwing Navi with us again.
Najee
Sorry.
Harris. I'm not into that unless he's there at 34.
No, I'm just saying some mocks that I read.
I would be interested at 34, but I don't think he's really a great fit for this offense. The more I've thought about it, he's not a speedster, and that's really what the outside zone's about. You need to have some speed.
Yeah, true.
I have another guy that I like that I'll talk about later. So, Future TV says Blake Cashman is very fast. Yes, he is one of the most athletic linebackers on the team, probably the most athletic, along with Jarrad Davis now. So, Ty Johnson has it all. He could shock people. He has the speeds and the hands out of the backfield. Yeah, so I saw him. He made that little flat pass from Darnold, I believe it was. He made that flat catch look easy. Like he caught it with his hands, like in the proper position. He didn't like body catch it or anything. So he looks like a natural receiver, and you need that out of a running back. You need somebody that can actually catch passes and be a threat to catch it, because then defenses have to pay attention to them when they go in their routes. So
that makes sense.
All right, we are going to topic 2. So hit that button. And we are moving right along here. We are on to Corey Davis. And Corey Davis is going to spark a little bit of fire in the discussion here, because we actually started talking about him prior to the stream, and normally we don't. But this night I'm glad we did, because we sounded like two idiots yelling at each other, because I don't agree with what he's saying, and we will kind of walk through it a little bit. But basically he is leaning towards the side of not hating the signing.
It just could have been better.
He would prefer somebody else. I liked the signing.
We had the cap space to have our cake and eat it too. I think that we knew coming into the offseason that our wide receiver core was one of our weak links of the offense. We knew we were going after top talent on the free agency for wide receiver. And I'm not saying that Corey Davis isn't a productive receiver, right? He was number 2. John and I both agree on that in terms of what his role was for the 2020 season. I would say that I will also agree with you that the fact that he was on a run first offense, and I will agree with you, and he still racked up 984 career yards.
That's my point. That's my whole argument. I'm glad you pointed that out.
I wanted to say that because I do recognize that, and those are valid. That's why I don't hate the signing. Well, what I will say is $27 million guaranteed, $27 million of the $37 million contract, 27 is guaranteed. That's probably about 85% of the total contract cost. And 2, I would say even where he will sit on the depth chart, at best he'll be a number 2 wide receiver, but he could easily, depending on what Denzel Mims does, could find himself as a number 3 wide receiver. So you're doing $27 million guaranteed to a receiver that you might have as a number 3.
I don't think he'll be a number 3, and that's where we disagree.
Okay.
And that is where purely the divide right there.
That's a good place.
Yep.
That's a peaceful place.
So Corey Davis, to me, and he's talking about the money, and that is also another thing we disagree on. And I'm so glad that Joe is in the chat. Joe, welcome to the show, bro. We are glad to have you here. So Corey Davis, to me, is a really, really solid number 2 in this offense. And I don't think that he bottoms out as a 3. I think he's basically locked in as a number 2 target guy. And he might be. So that's the thing. Like if we keep Jamison Crowder, he might still be the number one in as far as like targets and receptions because that's just his game. He catches a lot of balls.
But okay. So let me I didn't mean to jump in, but I saw a good point to expand my side of the perspective, which is let's say because the other thing we were talking about off camera was the draft, and we both were like how crazy it would be to go after Pitts. Either the Jets could have an option between going after Chase or going after Pitts. If they go after Pitts, let's say we get Pitts and we have Corey Davis, and Mims steps up. What's going to happen to Corey Davis then? Because Pitts is going to be on the field and getting targets.
But that's where you're wrong though. The money. You talked about the money, and I'm gonna read what Straight Fire said. He says, "I've seen reporters on Twitter bashing this Corey Davis deal. It's hilarious. This is a steal at $37 million." He says, "Hey, Aguilar got $13 million. I'm good." Yeah, exactly. Aguilar, who did pretty good last year, but he hadn't done anything prior.
Mm-hmm.
And Corey Davis is a consistent number 2 on that Tennessee Titan offense. And a run-first offense.
I think I would feel differently if it wasn't so much guaranteed.
But it's not that much guaranteed, and that's the thing. The Corey Davis signing, if you didn't know this, guys at home who are watching this, the Jets can get out clean after 2 years. And he's going to be just barely in his late 20s at that point. So we're not signing a guy who we are locked into for an eternity.
I'd say that, and I appreciate you give me your perspective on the money side. So it would be the money, the amount of guarantee on them. So 85% of the contract is guaranteed, and 2, it also depends on who's behind the center.
That's 100%, 100%. If we get a quarterback, it changes everything. If we don't, it will not matter one bit. And that's a great way to keep the conversation moving. So,
go to chat.
Joe says, "What is up, boys?"
What up, Joe?
Cheers, brother. I'm almost finished my first beer.
We haven't heard from you, man. Call in the chat tonight, man. I want to talk to you, Joe.
Oh, he wants to talk. He wants you to call. Talk. He wants you on the phone. If you're new,
go, Joe.
If you're new here and you're watching this, we do a live call-in show, so you're more than welcome to call me. I do have my phone on me. Give me a ring ding and you can talk about what's on your mind.
Give him a ring ding.
That's right, baby. So Jason Green brings up a point, and I actually... What the hell is that? Okay, sorry.
Ooh, said the move.
That was an Ultimate Guitar
said the move
ad.
For the first phone call.
So he says Juju Smith is have to now, and I kind of...
Say that one more time.
He's saying, is he a must, basically?
Oh.
And I'm actually on
going back and forth on that.
I think
me and him have been at it all night tonight. I'm telling you.
So I feel like Juju
between Kenny Galladay and Juju.
I don't think they're going after Kenny Galladay.
But you were just saying that Galladay was a better player. Oh, I guess we're not
talking about that, though. So Galladay isn't necessarily. He is the best receiver on the market in my eyes right now, and he was even before Curtis Samuel signed. I just like Curtis Samuel and Juju better than Galladay because he fits into the offense better.
I think everyone in chat would agree that we heard last week that you did not claim that Galladay was, or that Curtis was the best.
No, he's not. Nope. It's
more his
versatility, and our need for versatility.
I'm just putting it out there.
Yep, I appreciate you. Your clarification is perfect. So yeah, that's the whole thing, and that's why I like Juju. I feel like he can do a little bit more than Crowder.
Well, I know chat. I mean, I don't know what chat's saying right now, but I know chat. You weren't the biggest fan of Juju when we were talking about the topic. I was with you on that in the sense that Juju comes with a certain amount of personality and a certain amount of other baggage, and not a lot of us were a fan of bringing more drama or stress into what is already a struggling franchise. So I was to say this: if it's between Juju and Galladay, I think that's a pretty obvious thing. I think we're all saying the same thing. But if it's between Juju or nothing, I think Juju.
Yes. I do think they need another veteran wide receiver. I do love some of the receivers in the draft. It's a very deep wide receiver class, and I have a couple of videos on the channel.
I kind of want to talk about the Chase versus Pitt conversation.
Well, we don't have that right now.
We're talking about, but we'll save that for another time. We'll save that.
So I have draft profiles on the channel. If you're new here, do check those out. Rashad Bateman's coming out this weekend, and Kadarius Toney from Florida is already on the channel. I'm going to be doing more receivers as we go along, so do check those out. So yeah, I do like the receivers in the draft. But the problem is then you've got Mims, who's young, like really young.
Really young.
And then you got another receiver who's going to be coming in completely new as well.
Corey?
No, the rookie if we were to draft one.
Yeah.
So it puts too much pressure on those rookies, and I would rather have veteran guys that can be the top guys, and those dudes can just kind of fill in and like be complements to the offense. So
I 100% agree with that, especially because it's not like we have a veteran crew to cover the load while these rookies get their ceilings.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Like, and again,
that's what happened to Michael Blackman, or was that his name?
I don't know who that is.
The guy who was drafted to the Jags and then went to the Raiders.
I have no idea.
Whatever.
Yeah, I don't have an idea, but we don't want to put too much pressure on a rookie to be super like dominant because that doesn't usually happen with receivers. They usually take time to develop. So I like the idea of getting another veteran. So I am in favor of Juju because I think it would help a Zach Wilson if we draft him. And even though it's not my top choice by any means, but if Darnold is the quarterback this coming season, it would help him as well. So, all right, we're going to talk a little bit more about Corey Davis. I have a couple of notes here. I said that he plays like a wide receiver too, statistically and on the field. He's a very physical receiver. Joe actually mentioned it earlier. He says, I think Corey Davis is going to be a great fit in our offense. I agree, sir, and that's kind of why I was pretty hyped up in debating it with him.
Did you make a face just then?
Joe says, nasty after the catch, a lot like Quincy was. And yes, that is in my video breakdown of Corey Davis. If you haven't watched it on the channel.
We could have got Curtis, though.
Corey Davis has a vicious stiff arm when he is running. He's not just like a dance around kind of guy.
I had him on my fantasy. I know exactly what you're saying.
So my point is that's good. That's a good thing. To have physicality on offense, for people to be afraid to have to tackle you. Like, that's who he is.
No, we definitely need that quality. I'm just saying, out of all the wide receivers to go after, would have been our first choice? That's what I'm asking.
Joe Douglas likes big, fast wide receivers. That is his prototype because that's what Brashad Perriman was. He's like a 6'2", 200-plus pound wide receiver. Mm-hmm. He's got Mims now, who's 6'3", 200-plus pounds. Corey Davis, 6'2", over 200 pounds. And yeah, busted knuckles, he comes back in the chat. Again, there's a reason he was drafted so high. Exactly. He has all the physical traits of a good wide receiver. And I think if he gets opportunities, he could be a really good number 2. And that's kind of what I say. I think he's going to be an elite number 2 wide receiver, if that makes any sense.
Maybe I should preface it. I think if he stays a number 2,
we're in good shape.
Fine.
Yeah.
If he falls,
then of course, nobody's going to be happy if he falls.
I'm just going to say, I'm going to revisit the conversation.
Nobody will be happy if he disappoints. Future TV says some players definitely need a change of scenery. Corey Davis could benefit from this in the long run. Let's just hope.
I like that. Who's that? Was that Future?
This is Future TV, yeah. So he started his career with Mariota, I'm pretty sure. And Mariota, we know, he obviously bottomed out with the Titans, didn't stay with them.
That was sad.
It was sad because I feel like Mariota is not a bad dude, and he's kind of like a Darnold in a way.
Yeah, very
drafted
similar.
high.
Very similar.
Nice dude, though. Really good kid. But anyway, I feel like Corey Davis may have suffered a little bit from that early on. And then he obviously did really well. He connected well with Tannehill, especially this last year. Just under 1,000 yards.
No,
in a run-heavy offense.
You love that shit out there, man.
I was thinking
off the floor.
Let's see. So I had said one of the benefits for signing him, and again, you could disagree with your mom. No, I'm being serious now.
Oh, now you're being serious.
He takes a little bit of pressure off of Mims.
Do we think it's a good thing or a bad thing?
A very good thing.
I think there's times where Mims performed under pressure, though.
Of course, no. When I say take pressure off, I mean Mims won't be relied on to get all the targets and all that BS. He's not going to have to make every play. Like, he has somebody next to him.
Here's a question I need. Did you look at the 2020 stats of targets, of what that looked like, and who had the most?
What do you mean? For who?
On the offense.
Which offense?
The
Titans?
No, for the Jets, in terms of who was getting... You were saying it would take pressure off Mims.
Yeah.
And I was just saying...
Because I think in year 2, he's going to be expected to step up some.
Yeah, I'm just saying, who would we say in the 2020 offense got the most targets?
Crowder.
Right, that's what I said. I wanted to make sure I was on the same page. You didn't think Mims was getting all the targets.
No, but I think, like I just said, there's going to be expectations for him. He was drafted in the second round. He needs to step forward and do a little bit more than what he did.
Yeah, and I was just saying, is it good to put pressure on Mims? That's what I was asking.
He needs a little bit of pressure. Right. A little bit, I think, is good, but I think that's the good thing is, like, in those clutch moments in games where we need, like, a big play, I think they will be looking towards Corey Davis in those situations a lot. So that's just a small thing. I think it helps Mims a little bit. He's not going to have to make every big play. He does have somebody that is on the opposite side. Let's see. Joe says that he is going to call in. We appreciate you, Joe. We look forward to talking with you. Straight Fire says, I agree, Knuckles. Those deals are all great. Essentially 2-year deals. That was the point I was trying to make, is that if Corey Davis, let's just say he absolutely sucks, is like a terrible bust of a free agent, which we've seen many times with this team. New York Jets. Many times. So if Corey Davis bottoms out, it's 2 years we owe him money. And then we are free from Corey Davis.
$27 million guaranteed.
But we have money. You're not. That's what I'm like.
I know we have money, but that's what I'm saying.
We still have money. We should sign somebody.
We could have went after Samuel. We could be going after Galladay.
I wish we had gone after Samuel. I'm not going to let that one go. There you go.
We agree on that.
Yep. All right. So Joe says there's a reason he was drafted so high. We already talked about that. Absolutely, as usual. JD, a smooth operator. Yeah, he took his time and found good value, and that's what he told us he was going to do.
And A rating. I'm not arguing with any of that. I think he's doing great.
Right.
I think he's doing a fantastic job.
It drives me a little bit, and again, I don't mean to offend, but if you're a follower from Twitter, I get a little bit frustrated when I'm on Twitter and I see people basically like panicking online because the Jets aren't feverishly signing every player that's out there.
Being smart.
And well, that's not what free agency is supposed to be. Like the Patriots are doing that right now. They never used to do that shit with Brady.
Well, also the other thing about it is that's just up until 8 o'clock last night, the Deshaun watch was live. Well, it still technically is live. I mean, me and you were talking about the fact that how much is the recent news going to deter attention to Deshaun. But let's just say let's put ourselves back last night before that news broke. The Jets had to hold back a bit for the potential Deshaun Watson situation, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
I mean, so you couldn't, you got to, I think now versus then, I think the Jets, you would probably seen a different response. Perhaps. I don't know. I mean,
I just looked up something. Curtis Samuel only got $11 million this year. Ooh. So I got to be honest with you. I'm disappointed that Joe Douglas wasn't on that. I feel like if he wanted him, he could have had him, because he was born in Brooklyn. The dude was from New York.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't agree with it, but I'm just saying some people had him further down their top list.
Yeah, I hear you. It's all good. I'm just sad about it. But yeah, Joe, you're absolutely right. He is playing free agency carefully, and that is very important to do. For all we know, Curtis Samuel could wind up doing the same thing we just talked about with Corey Davis. So
there you go. That's right.
He's got his son in his ear. It's all good. No worries. We said we need to catch a leprechaun. Oh my God, that's hilarious. No worries, Joe.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, happy St. Patty's. All right, we're going to go to the next one. Corey Davis is done.
Let me see if I have any other nails to put in that coffin.
You don't got shit. We're going to the next one. Let's go, baby. All right, we are on to defensive end Carl Lawson of the Cincinnati Bengals. This is going to be one of my favorite topics of the night.
Yeah, you were amped. Did everyone see his video?
Carl Lawson.
Let's go, Jet fans.
Carl Lawson is the biggest signing, and again, that's coming from somebody who really likes the Corey Davis signing. Carl Lawson's going to be making on average about $15 million per season. This contract, that's what it gives him basically. Yeah. And pricey. So it is pricey, and I can throw out some reasons if you want me to go first or you can go first. It's up to you. But
I mean, there's only one real question or topic I really want to talk on him. So I don't want to go straight to that and pop your bubble. So if you want to go through your topic.
So Carl Lawson, he's 25 years old. Check out these stats. He has the third fastest get off rate. Now that sounds a little perverted, but no, it's not perverted. He can get off the line. Yeah, now you're getting the joke. Yeah. He can get off the line third fastest in the NFL. So, like, his initial jump from the line, like being in his stance, is third fastest, only behind Bud Dupree and TJ Watt, according to some stats that I read. 64 pressures on the quarterback in 2020, fourth highest in the National Football League. And he led the NFL in quarterback hits and knockdowns. So the 5.5 sacks, and I mentioned it in the video, of course you want that way higher. It should be higher based on those numbers that I just read you. And that's what we need to kind of consider when we're talking about Carl, is this dude is a pressure maniac. He is flying at the quarterback.
When he's on the field.
He's been hurt, but he's been on the field as of the last year.
You know what? I don't want to give the impression on chat. I don't want you to rip my head off. I like the signing. I'm just gonna say I should have wore the jersey. Why the heck am I wearing a Mark Sanchez jersey?
I was wondering if we would need a reason to do a little share.
I like the signing, but he's just like my favorite player on the Jets, which is John Abraham. It's very similar.
This dude is a ripped machine.
Guy's freaking jacked.
He's a monster. I'm gonna pull up some pictures while he's talking, but this dude is thick. He is a beast. He's an athletic freak. He's a John Abraham kind of dude. He is the edge presence that we have missed.
He's John Abraham.
For years. It has been forever. And again, I don't know if this pans out, but right now, he's got a shot to be, in my opinion, a very interesting... sorry, I'm trying to share my screen, guys. 1 second. There we go. So there's my boy Carl Lawson shirtless. This is not, we're not going to stare at that for terribly long, but my man is jacked is my point. He is jacked. So Future TV says, I personally think that Carl Lawson could be better than Shaquille Barrett. He has better speed, strength, acceleration. It's just putting it together is what he needs to happen.
Future.
He says, I believe he will. A+.
I agree. I agree. I think he brings a lot to the team. I'm just going to say 2 ACL tears, 1 in college, 1 in the pros, if I remember correctly.
I don't know. I can't.
A hamstring problem last season. I'm just saying, I just want everyone to come into this with realistic expectations. Okay? Realistic expectations.
I'm sorry, but I have to. Grant Rude, stupid daylight savings. He's an hour late, so that's why he's saying that. Stupid Sewell at second overall. Hey, guys, what's up?
Grant Rude, I'm gonna kick your ass.
Grant Rude, this has got to be the thing. Every night you have to bring it up so I can play that animation.
Grant, reach out to me, DM me.
Cheers to you, Grant Rude. Thanks for being here.
We'll strike a deal. We'll strike a resolution. Don't follow the dark side.
Jones Busted Knuckles says, "Dude's built like a brick shit house."
Dude, he is.
Dude,
he just has bum knee. That's all.
No, dude. Carl Lawson is gonna make a huge impact, and we're gonna talk about my next thing with Carl.
Why are you not? You're not even talking about the injury prone.
His potential outmatches the risk.
Okay. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. I was just making
There's a risk.
Okay. That's cool.
Here's the thing. Free agency is always a risk because there's more money involved. When you draft a player, you're investing in somebody, but they don't get near the money. Even these top guys aren't getting paid $15 million a year. Like
Carl's getting paid, bro.
$15 million a year is a lot of dough, and he does need to produce, and he's going to need to complement Quinnen fucking Williams, dude.
Baby. Dude, Quinnen's, man.
I have been singing about this literally for 2 months on this channel. If we got an edge, it changes the way our defense plays. And we have one.
I agree.
He has to stay healthy.
Just saying.
But Carl Lawson changes everything. Everything.
It definitely brings a whole new dynamic to that defense. And with Robert at the helm,
that's what you have to remember.
Not calling the plays, but coaching, I'm good with that.
Robert Saleh will, and there's a picture on Twitter. I wish I had it on the screen. I could show it to you guys, but Carl Lawson is friends of Joe Douglas before he signed with this contract.
Yes.
There's a picture of them online. I think they were like either hunting or at like a shooting range or something. For real. No, this is for real.
No, I think I've seen
this is a real thing. So Carl Lawson and him they had a relationship, Joe Douglas and he, And Robert Saleh is going to put this man on the edge, and he's going to say, get the quarterback. And that's his only job. He's a speed rushing edge.
He's going to go from 4th best in the league to 3rd best in the league with quarterback pressure.
Well, and again, this is what I was talking about earlier. You have an interior rush, and now you have your edge rush. So here's what you have. You have Quinnen Williams pushing the pocket back. So the quarterback's not going to have anywhere to step up. It's going to be harder to step up with Quinnen Williams on our defense. Then you've got Carl Lawson on the edge, ripping around, and it's going to be a ton of those situations. We're going to be exactly what you said, pinching the quarterback. He will not be. There's going to be times where the quarterback is standing in the pocket and he has nowhere to go.
That's why we need a corner to really sink into that.
Yes. Very good point. Cover linebackers and really good, strong, long cornerbacks. That's what this defense needs.
Justin Hardee does not count as that corner.
Justin Hardee, no. We will be talking about him next, but I'm not ready to get off this topic because I'm ready to.
On right now.
All right, we're on Carl Lawson still. So Carl Lawson doesn't. He needs.
Anything chat before you get going.
Yeah. So Straight Fire says Carl Lawson is a star in the making. Just doesn't stop getting at these quarterbacks. He's relentless, and that's my point.
Yeah.
All gas, no brake. He literally lives that mantra, dude.
All gas, no brake. That's good.
All right. So Joe is saying he heard his contract was 3 years, 33. Are we talking about Carl Lawson? Carl's got a 3-year, $45 million deal, $30 million. He's got $30 mil guaranteed, and he can earn a maximum of 47.4 with incentives. So he's going to get some bonuses if he hits probably sack numbers would be my guess. If he gets double-digit sacks, he probably gets $1 million basically.
Yeah.
So, our Red Sports, thank you for being in the chat. Thanks for being in the show. We recognize you.
Man.
Happy to see you.
I gotta get a beer. I only get 2 beers.
Our Red Sports says that we have the Vikings have signed Patrick Peterson to a 1-year deal, $10 million. I think Patrick Peterson is on the downslide towards the end of his career.
He's too old.
So I don't think he's too old. I just think he's more of an athletic cornerback. He's not really I don't think he's really known for pressing. I mean, I could be wrong on that, but I think that it's a fine signing for the Vikings. I think he'll fit in nicely. They will need to get after the quarterback a little bit. So it is interesting. We'll move on though. Busted Knuckles says that's not a real picture, bro. That's just 2 guys that look like them, bro. Oh, is it real? Oh my god, that's insane if that's true.
Oh my god.
I thought that was a real
fake picture.
Oh, that's insane. I thought that was a real picture. He's laughing at me, dude. Joe, if that's true, I deserve this. My first one.
Oh man. How sweet for me though.
Yep.
I'm feeling pretty good, chat.
I got catfished.
Pretty good.
I got catfished a little bit.
Give him shit. Give him all the shit you gave me about Penne.
Grant Rude says, yeah, right. That's never going to be lived down.
Oh, no.
Grant Rude said, you cover outside linebackers to take out the check down. Yes, we need linebackers that can get after the running backs and the tight ends. We have to have linebackers that can really move. They have to be able to run, and that's actually why Jarrad Davis has really good potential. Again, six sacks in his second year.
Let's agree. That linebacker crew is going to hurt if CJ isn't at 100%.
CJ? I mean, there's rumors I know they might trade him, which I think is insane. I don't think they should be trading him.
That would be awful.
I think that would be a mistake. I think so. Mosley might not be some people are saying he's not a fit. I don't really see that. I feel like he's a little bit bigger as a linebacker, but I think he could be a strong side, cover the tight end a little bit. I think he could do some of that. I mean, he might not be able to stick with the likes of a Travis Kelce.
No,
but
that's where you got to change up your play call.
Yeah, I mean, we can use Marcus Mayo on a tight end. I feel like he could be dropped down in some situations. I like Keanu Neal. I wish we were signing Keanu Neal. That's another dude that I would like to bring in. Yeah. Some people think Keanu Neal actually might switch to linebacker. Some teams are calling and asking him to be a linebacker on their defense, which is insane.
I can see it.
I mean, if Keanu put on 10 pounds of some fat and some muscle,
right,
dude could do it, I think. And be good at it, I would say, too. Let's see. The Raiders traded a guard to the Seahawks. I do not know about that. He says it's a 2021 draft pick. Let's see here. I don't want to go on the Twitter too long here. I see the Vikings signed him. You have to tell me what the player's name is. I don't know. So Grant Reed said, shaking my damn hand. I agree with Matt. Too old. Hey, guys. Just keep you in the loop while you guys are hosting the show. Mosley is a stud no matter 3, 4, or 4. That's kind of how I feel. I feel like he needs to have a role in this defense, and he needs to be given opportunities to play and to be to improve his game. I feel like that's important. He's been off the field, but he's making so much money right now. We can't cut him. That's just a bad look.
We would further go down in history as the worst offseason team.
I'd like to try and make something out of that. Okay, good. Gabe Jackson, yes. I know that they traded Rodney Hudson, and now they've traded Gabe Jackson. Damn. The Raiders have cut, and I'm sorry, I should say they've traded 2 of their starting offensive linemen. Yeah. That's an insane situation going on with LA. Las Vegas. They might not be very good next year. The Raiders?
I think you have them as a team that was likely to pop. I had them as that. I think they could fall. I think that they could regress.
Oh, I'm thinking they are going to regress.
No, now. I'm saying we had that as a topic with Chad.
Yeah.
What teams were going to pop versus what teams.
Yep, I remember that. Yeah, I could see them being a down team.
But at the time, I agreed with you because we knew they were going to be aggressive. Well, at least we thought they were going to be aggressive in free agency. And
they're signing players off.
Right, they're just getting rid of them.
I think the Chargers are definitely the clear 2 in that division, and I think that the Chiefs are the clear number 1 team in that division. I don't even think it's really close, to be honest with you. I don't see the Raiders as a threat anymore. They're giving away their starters for draft picks, which is good. I don't hate that because they're older dudes. Jason Green just said it in the comments. He said they might be drafting online, and again, the Jets I think are going to do that too. I think the Jets are going to potentially take 2 offensive linemen. You could see a situation where they take kind of like the Brick Mangold draft. Maybe they take our offensive lineman at 23 and 34. First round and second round, double up. They could take Creed Humphrey at 34, and they could take Wyatt Davis at 23.
It all depends what happens with the second pick.
Quarterback.
No, I'm just saying, if we were going to trade Sam, I think it would have happened.
We could take a quarterback still. There's no reason not to. Sam
Donald. When I asked you that, and look at me. When I said, look at me.
I'm looking at you. Go ahead.
I said, what if they bring a competition or a quarterback by competition?
They're going to have to send them away.
Like they would never do that.
They can't.
That's what you said to me.
They can't do that.
I said, what if they bring Zach in with Sam and they make them compete for it? You were like, there's no way they do that, bro.
They can't do that to him. I don't think they will. I don't think so.
But you just said, just draft him anyway.
They will draft somebody, but they will be able to trade Darnold. That's the thing. The people are saying, like, oh, the Jets, like, they're losing value or whatever. And I agree. They might be losing value. But eventually, if they don't want him, they will ship him off. If they do want him, they will keep him. I just don't know what they're going to do, which one.
I think it's possible. I don't think it's out of the realm possibility that we do have competition at quarterback.
No way. I still think they take a quarterback in Zach Wilson at the number 2 overall pick. I just don't see how we pass up on Zach Wilson. It would be a big mistake, I think, to pass on him. So let's see. Yeah, Jason Green's throwing in the comments that they might be drafting O-line. We talked about that, talking about how the Jets might be also doing the same thing. He says a lot of teams are drafting O-line. We've got 3 picks, I should say, inside the top 34. So the Jets can be one of those teams, and they can take 2 of the best if they really wanted to. Okay, so we will kick it to the next topic. Are you cool with that? Yeah, that's what Grant Rude said. Wait a minute, Grant Rude. What did he say? I got to get to this because you were vehemently disagreeing with me. No freaking way the Jets draft a QB at 2nd overall and keep Darnold. We disagree with you, sir, and it's okay. Disagreements happen.
I'm not saying that that's going to happen.
Right. You're saying it's an option.
I'm saying, yeah, and I'm going to be pissed off just like all of you are going to be pissed off.
I wouldn't be pissed.
If you had both
I would feel
Sam
bad.
and...
I would just feel bad for Darnold. I wouldn't care.
I feel like that's a lost opportunity in the draft. That's how I feel about that.
If they take a quarterback?
I would rather get rid of Sam for a 3rd.
I still think they might. That's what I'm telling you. I think they may do that. We just don't know. All right, we're going to the next topic, boys. Alrighty. So before we start, Future TV earlier had mentioned that. Sorry, that's not the right comment. He says, I just read that if the Bears release cornerback Kyle Fuller, that the Jets are open to discussions. Yeah, they would be. I think they would be, and I think it would make sense. He's a really good cornerback, fits the scheme nicely.
I think that'd be the perfect.
I think he'd be terrific. We need a good corner.
Is there another corner that you're really going for? I mean,
yeah, that's a good question actually. So Adoree Jackson from the Titans got cut. He's still pretty young. He got hurt last year. He didn't play a lot last year, but the year prior to that, I think he played pretty well. Yeah. So I would actually be all over Adoree Jackson. I'm kind of surprised that they haven't signed him. I think they should be all over that. He's young. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. If you're in the chat right now, please do leave us a comment and also hit the like button. And a couple of things I want to go over while we are here. I'm going to put this in the description. I'll put a little tag for the time.
Need like a scene transition, like Price is Right?
No, we don't need that, no. So we right now are just over. We don't have that.
I'm just saying. I'm just brainstorming with you live.
So we have about 300 subscribers right now. And so we are going to do a giveaway for the draft. And our hope is that by draft night, so literally if it happens right at draft night, this will still happen. We want 400 subscribers on the channel by draft night, and we are going to give away a $50 NYJ Today free exclusive giveaway, jetsshop.com. We're going to split the price, I would imagine, 25 and 25, but that will be our gift to you guys. We will be doing giveaways.
I'm getting shit-faced drunk on the draft.
So
if you're not there,
anyway,
you're not even going to be
like I said, I'm going to timeline this in the description. So if you want to come back to it, like I said, I am going to do a giveaway for the draft. We want to hit 400 subs by draft night. Again, that's a payment to you guys because we appreciate you guys supporting the channel and love talking Jets with you guys. Also, I have 4 more Jets koozies that I would love to give away. I've given away about 7 or 8 right now. So if you want a free Jets koozie, all you got to do is either at me on Twitter, which is at NYJ Today, or you can email me at Gmail. So at NYJ Today, NYJ Today at gmail.com. I'm used to doing the Twitter handle. So yeah, email me or tweet me, and you can get yourself a free koozie. There's still 4 left.
Yeah. It's been an awesome road. You guys really have made this more than I think we anticipated it would be.
Yeah. Absolutely.
To go from, it's like I remember the only number that jumps out to me is 27. I don't know why it's 27. But I remember when we had 27 subscribers, and now it's 300. We just crossed the 300 mark.
Yep.
So
we appreciate you guys.
About appreciation, thanks to you guys.
Yep, and we're gonna keep doing it. We love doing this.
See that wench is in the chat.
So Straight Fire says we don't need a lockdown corner with a zone scheme. We just need good tacklers. Yes. And
yes.
So the Bryce Hall,
Straight Fire, call the line. Let's talk, man.
Yeah, Straight Fire.
Let's call, man.
Yeah, you do have a lovely voice. I do love hearing that smooth New York accent.
Brings you back home to Bayonne, New Jersey.
Yeah. So I agree. So Bryce Hall fits that mold. He's a press cover tackle kind of cornerback. I would love to get J.C. Horn, which, by the way, will be next weekend. I'm doing a draft profile on him. I've already got everything ready to go.
And can we do a quick round of applause, chat, for John pushing out videos, 2 videos in the last 24 hours?
It was 3.
3 videos.
Yeah, we did Jarrad Davis, Carl Lawson,
that takes work, chat.
Corey Davis.
I didn't, not knowing what it took behind the scenes, I just want to call them out.
I appreciate that. Future TV says, let this sink in. Leonard Williams is being paid $18 million more than Carl Lawson. Yeah, Leonard Williams is raking money in, literally. He made a ton of money. He had a really good season last year, though. He's gonna need to stand up and keep making plays, basically, or else that contract looks bad. Yes, the draft will be quite the show. There's no doubt about it.
Go to bed, Michelle.
What's Matt's Twitter handle? I'd like to hassle him more. His name is Mike, but that's okay. Mike's Twitter handle. I can get that for you. I'm on the Twitter. So
don't put it out there. Grant's gonna egg my Twitter house.
We do appreciate the applause, my good friend. Thank you very much. We are working hard at this. Do you want to start off talking about cornerback special teamer Justin Hardee from the New Orleans Saints?
Dude, I like this kid, man. I like him a lot.
Preach!
Dude, I was watching the chat. I wish we could show the screen the Twitter video. Oh, we could.
Yeah,
right?
I could. Just give me 1 minute, though.
All right. I like this kid a lot, man. I mean, I was showing John a clip where he, oh, man, what team was that? I think it was the Niners. I think it was, or it was the Tampa Bay. I think it might have been Niners or Tampa Bay. I can't recall which team, but he burned. This kid's got freaking jets on the back of him, and he burned this defender going down the field as a gunner and just smothered X team, Niners or Tampa. I can't recall what it is, and hopefully John will get
I'm pretty sure it's the 49ers.
The Niners. He burned the Niners defender and just smothered that punt receiver or kick receiver.
I'm going to put your ridiculous @ in the chat. My God, how many numbers do you need attached? Michael 33924 Wow. All right, so
I gotta change it.
If you want to @ Mike, go ahead and hit him
I'll
up.
find incognito because I knew Grant would come over and try and mess me up.
He looks like
I'll be ready for you, Grant.
He looks like he's a dark internet
I'll
Twitter handle.
I'll be rocking in my Twitter chair, waiting for you to come around my block.
Yeah, so Busted Knuckles is agreeing with you. So he says, I love the Hardee signing. He's a great gunner. So I'm going to throw some stats out if you're okay with that.
Dude, throw them out. I'm going to sit here and just hit my face.
So I think, again, before I give this, anybody who criticizes this move doesn't understand football and doesn't understand that when you sign players in free agency, you don't necessarily sign them in order from greatest to least. Like, that's not how that necessarily works. Like, you've seen players of lesser caliber be re-signed. You've seen players who are starters on defense and backups on defense being signed. So it's not really a big deal that we signed a special teamer. Like, people are like, oh, the Jets are focused on special teams. Like, it's ridiculous, the criticism that people actually throw out there.
They've been vicious about it.
Yeah, so Justin Hardee led the second
1-year deal, too.
No, it's not. Justin Hardee, 3-year deal.
Oh, is it a 3-year deal?
3-year deal, $6.75 million. He's getting only $1 million guaranteed.
I'm still good with that.
His salary for this year is $135 million.
I don't know why I saw one.
Second year, $1.8. Third year is $750K. So this is a guy that we're committed to for 3 years, and he's going to be our best special teamer on the whole team.
Dude, I hope you can pull that video.
I am going to pull it up.
Because that video, guys and gals.
Grant loves this. He said, oh my fucking God, what the fuck is that handle? Twitter, please enter your username. Mike, hold my beer.
Whatever, Grant.
Yes.
Come around my block. Let's go.
Joe says first Sewell at 2 and now this.
Joe, no, come on, man. Oh, we're buds, man. Don't go on Grant's side. There's going to be a war in the chat.
They love you. That's why.
Those with Grant and those opposed.
All right, so let me get back to my stats. This is very funny. Very funny. So he plays the gunner position like Mike mentioned. He didn't play on defense. He played one defensive snap of all of 2020. So anybody who tells you, oh, he can't play cornerback, they didn't sign him to play cornerback.
No.
He's going to be like our 6th or 7th cornerback on the team.
They want that average of 2.3 yards return for the entire season. That's what they're going for.
Right. So this stats here, I'll read them now. I've talked enough about it. So he ranked 6th amongst all special teams players in the NFL, had a PFF grade of 90.4. So I don't know PFF, the scales that well, but a 90 is super rare. Like, you don't see a lot of players, excuse me, as I burp through my beer. You don't really see a lot of players with a grade that high, even in a position like that. So he's elite as a special teamer. The New Orleans Saints allowed the fewest yards per punt return in the National Football League. Listen to this number. 2.3 yards allowed per punt. 2! That's the equivalent. That's the equivalent of the punt returner catching the ball and literally just falling down.
Yes.
Exactly.
I said that.
So understand this is the best special teams unit coverage-wise in the National Football League right there and then. Like, you have to appreciate that.
You got to put that video on there. I think they need to see it.
I will pull it up. And then Justin Hardee. No, I got this. Number 2 allowed the second. New Orleans allowed the second fewest kick return yards in the NFL. Second in the NFL with only 17.2 yards allowed per kick return. This dude, like he said, can fly and can get after it.
Jets.
So, again, I'm not trying to be like...
I hope he can find this video because...
I'm going to be able to find it. So, don't get it twisted. I'm not like sitting here squeezing and saying Justin Hardee Super Bowl or anything like that.
It's a fun signing. That's
I apologize. That's the sound of the video. I'm going to make sure I turn the volume down when I do that. But I'm going to present the screen so you guys can see this dude just ball hawk on this play here. So let me share. I'm still working on this one because this is a new one for the channel. So anyway, we're going to share.
You're doing, dude. You're doing good.
We're going to share the screen here, and I'm going to play for you this play. Again, this is outstanding.
That's Tampa.
Blocks it, catches it, touchdown.
Ooh. You see how quick he got in there?
So there's one.
Oh, man.
So he blocked it for a touchdown.
Child, please.
And then the one Mike wants to see is a coverage one. I'm not sure if I actually have. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I found it.
There it is.
There we go. So here's a coverage one for when I'll go back. I'll go back.
You missed the burn.
So he beats.
Look at the bird right there, Jack.
And I will make a point on this play.
Apollo 11 mission.
Jamel Dean is the cornerback that he burnt on the Bucks, and that's a starter. I'm pretty sure last year, Jamel Dean.
Man, look at that speed! Oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
Yeah. So
I'm really psyched on
we can stop the circle. Oh, no, I don't want to finish the broadcast. Jiminy Christmas. So we don't want to spend too much time on Justin Hardee because he is a special teamer. But you should be excited that we will potentially have a really good coverage unit on special teams.
I love it. I think it's a fun signing.
Yes.
I think it brings explosiveness.
Yeah.
It brings attention to the special teams. I love everything about it.
So right here, Busted Knuckles says, "As straight fire, absolutely. JD even told us he's looking for value and talent in free agency. Other than that, we build through the draft." Literally, he told us exactly. And this is what I'm trying to get at is Jets fans on Twitter land. They're all like, "Oh, what is JD doing?" He literally told you what he was gonna do. He's looking for the deal. He's looking for the player where he's like, "Okay, I spent money on this dude." But compared to what other people spent, I did fine.
Yeah.
He got Carl Lawson cheaper than what the Bengals got for Trey Hendrickson. He got Corey Davis cheaper than some other receivers, I think it was Nelson Aguilar. So he's doing fine. And, that's the thing that people need to remember is we're getting good contracts, not ugly ones.
Here's a question.
Like the C.J. Mosley one and the Le'Veon Bell one.
Question for you, chat. And I'm not saying one way or the other. I'm just asking the question. I'm a messenger. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If Joe D does great with signings, or we... I thought you were going to...
Nope, you're good. Go ahead.
Obnoxious sound effects. But if Joe D does a great job, let's say we all are in consensus, he does a great job with all picks and signings. Well, let's say they mess up the quarterback position, in which case the team struggles... Maybe doesn't even get to 8-8. Does that diminish Jody's success in the other signings just because of what happens at behind the center?
If we don't get a quarterback and if he fails that position, that could cost him his job. That's what any general manager who misses on a quarterback, that's the risk you run.
I think it's an interesting question. Chat, I want to hear from you guys. I would like to know whether you feel that tarnishes Jody's. Well, in John's case, he's saying it puts Jody up for job security.
If he misses, yeah, it does. It absolutely
does. If he messes up the quarterback. Yeah, no,
yes.
I agree. And I agree with you. I mean, I think it could be really bad. But, it would be unfortunate because of all these other great signings. So yeah. I would like to hear other opinions on that.
Yeah. So Future TV says Justin Hardee is a key special teams player. He will be a special player for the Jets.
Let's get pumped up about Justin Hardee, man.
Special teams is so important. Think about it. He will help this team in a big way. Yeah, we'll be able to pin people back when we
Really?
punt the ball, which is kind of like a thing with Braden Mann. He's gonna benefit.
Some energy in the team.
We'll see. We gotta get a good draft. So, Straight Fire says absolutely, guys, more value in your draft picks. Yeah, because they're cheaper. They're cheaper, and you have them a long-term contract, 4 years, 5 years. Future TV says special teams are important too. People fail to realize that. Michelle says, "In JD we trust." And he says, "Seriously, can you give him a hug and stop thinking negative?" Who's thinking negative? Is it him? Are we talking about Mike right now?
That's internal chat. Chat's talking internal.
Oh, maybe. Okay. All right, we're going to the next topic. Am I? Oh, wait, did I hit the button? Oh, I did. Perfect. The sound was off. There we go. Sorry, my sound was off. Let's continue on to the next free agent targets. So this one's kind of hard because I had a list and a bunch of players on it signed by the time that I made my list, but I have a few names on here.
Who's top of your list?
Huh?
Who's at the top of your list?
I have a couple of people. So
Just go with one. The one you can only choose one, John. Which one you taking?
Well, I got a bunch, so I'm not going to do that. I have Gerald Everett. So tight end Gerald Everett from the Los Angeles Rams. He's a guy that I would like us to sign. We need a tight end. We could use a number 2 or even a number 1 tight end. Like if Chris Herndon turned into our number 2 tight end, I don't think that would be a terrible thing. Because there's still parts of Herndon where you saw him flash, and he just really needs good coaching, I feel like. So if Herndon becomes 2 and Gerald Everett's number 1, Gerald Everett actually is sneaky good after the catch. Like he's got like a really good break tackle percentage, and he's got like I think he averages like 5 yards after the catch or something like that. So Gerald Everett's super athletic. He's pretty young, and I think he just needs an opportunity. And I think that Gerald Everett would present a lot of good for our offense. Yeah, so Joe agrees with me. Busted Knuckles says Gerald Everett would be a good pickup. He wouldn't cost a lot. That's the other thing. You're not like he's young and he wouldn't cost a ton because there were 2 other really good tight ends that were ahead of him. I think Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry were clearly over. As far as ability level and production. So yeah, I'm leaning towards Gerald Everett. He's one of my top guys. Who do you have on your list here?
I was going after a corner, so Casey Hayward or Troy Hill would be up there.
Okay.
I think I can't remember who it was in the chat. I think it was it Straight Fire. I don't want to butcher that. Adding a corner.
Oof. So Grant Rude just said that they signed him with the Washington football team. When did that happen? Apparently, Gerald Everett apparently signed with them. I didn't know that, and I don't see that. I'm not sure. I'll have to believe you. I didn't hear that though. So that would suck if Gerald Everett wasn't available because we really do need a tight end pretty badly. So we'll have to move on. Joe's saying we need corners, and I do have a corner on my list. So I mentioned Adoree Jackson earlier. He's young. He's athletic.
You don't like Hayward?
I don't even know if Casey Hayward's available.
He's on the list.
I'm not sure if he is. I mean, they're saying Everett signed with somebody. I don't know if Casey Hayward is available. I'm not sure. So the other player that I had was Adoree Jackson. I would love to sign him. Keanu Neal is a dude that I would really like to sign. We mentioned him earlier. He is a safety, but he could also potentially play some linebacker snaps as well. Mm-hmm. I feel like Richard Sherman would be good. We've talked about him a little bit on the channel. He's in my predictions for free agency. He's a good veteran. I don't think it would cost too much money. It would probably be like 8 to 10 million, probably that 9-10 million even.
I don't think you'll see. I think if you see him get picked up, he'll be towards the end of the free agency.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so Grant Rude saying that they signed him about an hour ago, and I must have missed that. So that makes sense because we've been live streaming for about an hour, so I missed that one. No worries. And then the other one that I wanted who's not available is Jayon Brown. He re-signed with the Tennessee Titans. That was another dude that I was interested in, but he re-signed as well. And then really the next biggest one that I have right now is Juju. I still feel like that is something worth considering. I would like to hear from the chat. If you guys are out there, let me know what you guys think about Juju, and potentially we might be able to just, keep Crowder for a year. I mean, we'll pay a lot of money to the wide receiver position for this year, but after this season, Crowder is going to be gone, and I feel like
Corey won't work out, and you could still keep Juju.
Right. So it offers a little bit of flexibility and youth because Juju's still really young.
And I go back to Troy Hill. I mean, Troy
Sure.
Hill is
Talk
solid.
Troy Hill.
10 pass defensive, 77 tackles, 2 defensive touchdowns. I think Troy Hill is a hidden gem that could be out
How
there.
old is he? Does it say? I don't know anything about Troy Hill. I don't know who he is. Who did he play for?
Rams.
Okay.
Yeah. He was with the Rams.
So Troy Hill, apparently he's liking on him. I don't know much about him. I can't really comment on him. But what are your free agent pickups that you guys want to see? We also need a caller. We haven't had a caller tonight. We would love to hear.
Go, man! I want to debate with someone.
Gwydion is saying keep Crowder, keep drafting to bolster. So that, and again, that might be a tough pill to swallow, but maybe we've seen the biggest signings from the Jets. Maybe they don't go after other people. Maybe they don't.
I'll tell you one thing. If that's true, and we don't draft a quarterback, I'm gonna be lackluster. I'm gonna say that right now.
Oh man. So yeah.
That's gonna be lackluster in my book, chat. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I worry about that. That could be one of those situations where the fans will be disappointed going into the year, and I don't think that's necessarily good to start. Like, it doesn't give off good vibes.
Not at all.
So we'll see. I mean, I don't know. It's too early, so I'm not going to sit here and panic.
You would have to be disappointed because you're the man who told me and told chat 2 weeks ago that this is the greatest draft of our lifetime.
Oh, no.
Or free agency of our lifetime. I'm sorry. Free agency of our lifetime.
I said that it was a deep free agency class. That doesn't mean that the Jets are going to have...
You said the greatest free agency of our lifetime.
You're not listening to me.
I am.
I'm still saying that.
Okay. No, and
I said that the Jets aren't having a great free agency if that's all they do.
Oh, no, I totally agree. That's what I'm saying for you, especially, it has to be disappointing.
Right. I feel like they don't need to go after the big dogs necessarily, but I would like them to sign more players. I do think that they need to spend some of the money. They still have apparently like $50 million of cap space. So I feel like, you can probably hold like 30 mil, but like spend like next 20 million. Like, let's get that money spent because
you don't get a benefit in the next season.
Well, and again, if we're moving on from Sam,
right,
we're gonna have a new quarterback with a rookie contract.
Can we just do it on the fly kind of what if discussion?
Sure.
We don't take a quarterback
at 2, and they trade back,
and we run it back with Sam. Okay. I just want to make sure we're all letting that sink in.
Okay.
Really shitty situation.
People will not like that.
A little shitty situation. I don't like it. If Robbie Oak's in the chat, he might be the only one that'd be digging it. But we don't take a quarterback. We run it back with Sam. Whatever we sign, blah, blah, blah. We come into next season, in the next off season. We're not really gung-ho about a quarterback. All our hopes are in free agency, right?
For next year?
Yeah, if we're in that situation.
If we need,
are you tracking a quarterback?
We have 2 first-round picks next year. So if we needed to, we could make a move for a quarterback. And let's be honest, if Sam's terrible again, then we won't really have to trade up necessarily for a quarterback.
It's just not a generational class like what we have this year.
I don't think it's a generational class this year. I think it's a good class. But
so you brought Lawson's.
I like Trey Lance. I think he's risky.
Yeah.
I like.
Or Lawrence. You brought Tyler Lawrence's.
Trevor,
I'm sorry. Trevor Lawrence's stock down.
No, I didn't.
Oh, I thought
I'd still take him 1.
You would still take him 1?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence is still number 1 to me. I just don't think it's a generational class necessarily. I think that people are super high on Zach Wilson, and I am too. But he has risk. Like every quarterback in this draft class has a risk. And I think that's what I mentioned earlier. There's actually,
going crazy.
I was going to say the chat's...
I'm watching it go up and up and up.
Yeah,
and up.
the chat's busy, so I'm actually going to get to that. So Michelle earlier said Juju had one good year, then got a little bit quiet. I think it depends on who's throwing to him. Absolutely. We need a quarterback.
Michelle and your ghost hands.
Grant Root says, I like Sherman, but not as cornerback one. I would agree. And then again, if we signed...
If they sign him, Grant, come on, man. Be on my team. Don't come after me on this. But if they sign him, Grant, they're signing him. The primary objective of what he's coming to the team for is to mentor the secondary. He would be almost a secondary coach.
Yep. And I think that's the thing with Sherman. That's the allure of him is he can start this year, maybe not be an elite cornerback, but he'll play and he will coach Bryce Hall and potentially a draft pick again. Think about how dope this would be. You draft J.C. Horn at 23. You have Bryce Hall, and then you got Sherman who could coach both of them. I think that's an awesome situation.
And they need it. I mean, Bryce is begging for more tutelage, I feel like.
Yes. And he'll get that from good coaching, but I think that a player also is a good coach too. So Gwydion said, Mike, that posture looking like a crawfish. I'm not sure what that means, but that's okay.
I prop myself up so I can look at you guys in the eye.
Joe, and I think that's why we didn't see Curtis Samuel sign for a really long time because he was looking for as much money as he could get. He was sitting on his hands waiting for the strongest offer he could get. And that's why he sat so long in free agency. And again, I think Juju is going to do the same thing. I think Juju's going to go from maybe 10, 11 mil per year. And I'm on that train. Like I'm putting my hand up and I'm saying I give him the same type of deal that I gave to Corey Davis, but maybe just a little bit less. But again, think about that duo. Juju, you have Mims, who's still young. You've got Davis and you've got Crowder. That's an elite. Or not. I'm sorry. Let me back up. That's a good, deep wide receiver group. It's not an elite group. I started saying that. That's not true.
It's a hell of a lot better than what we had.
It's a solid depth crew, and that's what we need. All right. So we already saw that one. You're looking like a crawfish. Elijah Moore in the third round after taking Fields at 2. Davis at 23. Humphrey at 34. Hell to the yeah. I really like Javonte Williams. I hope he falls from the North Carolina running back. He would be really interesting in the third round, too, if he falls to the third round. He would be really cool. Joe says, I'm keeping Crowder. Gwydion says, at least since last year. Yep, this is a couple of picks we're just kind of skimming through here.
Go with that Joe comment.
Which one?
That one right there, busting knuckles. What did he say?
We need to draft a few guards, though, this year, no doubt.
2 down.
Mike, I can't take another year of watching Sam miss open receivers and people making excuses.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, man. I'm just saying, as Jet fans, especially in the offseason, do not tell me that you don't plan for a nightmare scenario. Because let's just call it what it is, Joe. We have lived through nightmare scenarios, in which case, what I'm saying...
You're wearing a nightmare scenario. That's a Sanchez jersey.
I'm tucking it in my crawfish. What I'm saying is, man, Joe, I wish Joe just call in, man.
He's good. He's busy. He's got his kid talking to him about leprechauns and stuff.
That's right. But anyway, yeah, I just think if we keep Sam, and no matter what happens with the rest of the signings, if the quarterback position falters, that's going to be awful for Jody. It'd be sad, to be honest with you, because we know the New York media will tear him a new one.
Yep. So Grant Root says, you can say that for any QB except maybe Russ and Deshaun. Fields needing time is a hella bad take. Show me 3 plays where Wilson has to get rid of the ball in less than 3 seconds. So Grant, spit that fire. Talk about your boy Justin Fields. I'm pretty sure that's who you're backing up here. I have no problem with Justin Fields. If Joe Douglas hitches his wagon to him, and if they build around him, and that's kind of why I wanted Curtis Samuel. I felt like that would have been a really good piece to build for a rookie quarterback. Make the case for Justin Fields because he definitely has the upside. I mean, that's the thing like people don't understand is like
freaking arm cannon.
He has a rocket
launcher.
launcher.
Send it into space.
He's got a nice deep ball. He's accurate. He's a very good he's a mobile quarterback, a dual threat quarterback. So there's a lot to like with Justin Fields, and I just think that there are people who are pretty pissed on the internet that he's not getting the respect that they feel like he doesn't get enough credit, basically.
Possibly true.
People think he should be some people think he should be ahead of Zach Wilson. I'm not one of those people, but I do support the idea that he's a talented guy.
I agree.
So
I was there. We were both together when we watched that.
Yeah, it was special.
That championship game.
Gwydion says they say generational every year. He's talking about the QB class that you mentioned earlier. Only year that they didn't say generational was with Burrow and Herbert, who are excellent. Yeah, Herbert is he was a shock to me. I mean, I knew that he had talent, but that dude was truly, truly special this year. He broke the touchdown record for rookies, so that's obvious. It's like saying the obvious, but he was unbelievable this past year, and that really does make a big difference. Okay, so Grant Root says, yeah, if the Jets could afford to sit a first-round QB, I'd be all about Lance. Trey Lance, again, he smells like a Joe Douglas kind of guy.
Yeah,
kind of like a Mekhi Becton, like a high upside guy.
Very true. Very true.
Risky, though. Risky. That would be one of those picks where when it happened, I would be excited, but I would be also very nervous, too. Because he only had 1 year of starting experience, and in that full year, he didn't throw an interception. Right. That doesn't translate to the NFL. That's my concern with my man.
You know, that's very similar. It's like a Kirk Cousins situation.
Yes. So Grant Reed says, oof, I'll give you the Sherman take to you. I guess he's saying that he agrees. I'm not sure if that's what you mean. Preacher TV says, Denzel Mims is my favorite wide receiver on the New York Jets right now. I like Corey Davis slightly better, only because he's proven that he can be a borderline 1,000-yard receiver.
You called it what it was. He's a number 2 wide receiver, which makes Mims number 1.
Mims, well, no, he's not number 1 yet.
Crowder, you have to. Number 1.
So Mims has to earn that label.
He could.
He has the upside, absolutely, but he's going to have to step up. Mims is going to have a big year this year for me to really hitch my wagon.
Here's a question for you. We get Juju in. So follow my logic. This is all what if, right? So here you go. You bring Juju in. He comes into the depth chart. You got Crowder, Juju, Mims. What do you think about the Corey signing then?
I still like it. Okay. You're surrounding your young quarterback with weapons. And again, that's my preferred route.
That is true. That's very true. I'm just saying, based on the fine print detail of what it took to get him in.
I still think you're overrating how much we paid for him. We did not pay a lot for Corey Davis. No, you're not. We only are averaging like $12.5 million for him per season. That's not that much money.
Curtis getting 11, and you would rather have Curtis.
I would rather have Curtis, but only by a little bit. I still like Corey Davis. I still do enjoy the fact that he's on our team. I'm very excited about him. Red Sports, you're going to have to speak a little English and tell me who that is. If you're talking about a player, I do not know who that is, but that doesn't mean I don't want to hear about him and learn about him. I'm still learning about the draft class. I'm still doing my research. So let me know. Grant Rude, he says, absolutely. Fields is definitely ahead of Wilson. He's bigger, stronger. He's faster. More accurate, played better competition, and it did it longer on a bigger stage. Grant, I'm going to give you the fact that he did play better competition. He is bigger, he is stronger, he is faster. Basically. And that he did, I don't know if I give the more accuracy one. I think that Wilson's plenty accurate. But he did do it on a big stage. That is something you can give Justin Fields over Zach Wilson.
I thought Justin blew my mind.
Justin Fields was under the lights. He had all the pressure on him because he had a bad game against Northwestern.
Walk in the park.
He had a bad game against Indiana. And then in that game, he stepped up.
Killed it.
He stepped up and he got crushed in the ribs and was injured during that game. So if you want to talk about toughness, you give it to Fields all day long. That dude stood in the pocket and took a big-time hit. And really made big plays in that game. So that's the thing that excites me with Justin Fields is his deep ball throwing. That's pretty enticing if you think about that with Corey Davis and Mims on the outside. That could be pretty sweet. Michelle says Mike loves a hypothetical. Yes, that is all he wants to talk about.
Hell yeah.
Joe says, Grant, you're entitled to your opinion on Fields, of course. He is bigger and stronger. He played better competition, no doubt, but he is absolutely not more accurate. And that's what I mentioned earlier.
Chat, that other chat.
I don't think that there's like a real big discrepancy either way. Like, I'm not sitting here saying like Wilson's superior passer as far as accuracy goes.
It's very tight.
I think it's close.
Very tight.
I think it's very close.
You can't go wrong with either.
And there's never been a time where I've watched Justin Fields and I'm like, look at these mechanics. Like, he's got his feet all over the place. His arms coming off at a weird angle. Like, he's pretty consistent, actually.
No matter who gets which quarterback, you can't go wrong.
And I'm going to just talk a little bit more about Justin Fields. Just one more second. So in the video on the channel, I did a draft profile on Justin Fields. There was a specific play where it was a goal line play. He did a play action to the running back. And when he turns around, there's legitimately two guys that are about to crush him. Mm-hmm. And instead of like starting to move his feet or like roll out, he actually, what he did was he set his feet. Like he dropped his feet down like almost intentionally and threw the ball like really quickly. Rather than losing balance, rather than like anticipating a hit was what I'm trying to say. And I actually love that play. Like, again, it's not a hard throw. The throw he made wasn't hard. It was that he wasn't panicked by people in his face. And so one of the traits that you have to have as a quarterback is you have to be able to take a hit. There's going to be plays where there's a player open downfield, but if you start to panic because there's a rusher, you miss out on that opportunity.
There's three types of quarterbacks. Those who know how to take a hit, those who gut reactions to throw it away, and those who do stupid shit.
Yeah.
And right now, we have a quarterback that does stupid shit.
Unfortunately.
So if we get a quarterback that throws it away or knows how to take a hit, I'll take that every day and twice on Sunday.
Yep. So, again, I'm not sitting here saying Justin Fields is my number 2. I still think the upside of Zach Wilson throwing off platform, off balance, he does look, and again, I'm not the only one saying this, so if you hate this comment, you can hate away. There are people who say that he looks like Aaron Rodgers with his throwing motion, with the ability to roll out and to run.
Justin?
No, Zach Wilson.
Oh, Zach, yeah.
So they're saying that Zach Wilson reminds them of Aaron Rodgers in the sense that he plays like him. Doesn't mean that he's as talented or anything like that, because Aaron Rodgers is one of the most talented quarterbacks the NFL's ever seen, as far as arm and ability to move.
Very true.
So that's why I'm still looking towards Zach Wilson, because of the upside that he presents. But it's a super close conversation. And again, guys, in a couple of weeks, in about 2 weeks, that's all we're going to be talking about is the draft. Like, we don't have free agency to hitch our wagon to. So I feel like we've gotten off topic pretty bad. We were on next free agent targets.
Let's catch up on chat.
Well, we can catch up on the chat, and then we can move on. So Fields lauded big time as being the best anticipating QB in the draft. There were plays that he showed. There was a drag route in my video where, the receiver was kind of still running across the field. It was a drag route from the left to the right. And he hadn't quite cleared a linebacker, but he ran across the field, and Fields took a hit on the play, but was able to deliver the ball with the hit and anticipated when.
We got a call?
Yeah, we got a call. And anticipated when to throw the football, and that's a critical thing. All right, we got a caller here.
What do we got?
Welcome to NYJ Today. What's going on?
What up, man?
Yo, straight fire here. What's going on, guys?
What's up, brother?
Oh, what's up, man? I was hoping you'd give us a call.
Yeah, I got to give y'all my thick New York accent. Thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah, bro, absolutely. Go ahead, the floor is yours. Dude, I'm just going to tell you, the floor is yours, so feel free to talk for a minute or so.
I got you. I want to talk about 3 things. Mike, I'm going to address something to you about the whole Corey Davis situation. I'm going to talk about Juju.
Let's go, man.
Talk about the whole quarterback.
Yo, you tell me.
Let him talk. Let him talk.
Can we do that?
Yeah, go, boy, go.
All right, listen. Mike, the whole Corey Davis. This is actually a great deal for both parties involved. You got to understand something. It's essentially 3 years, 37, which he's not going to see 37, as we all know. He'll see the 27 million. So coincidentally, what would happen is he can essentially get paid 13 and a half for the next 2 years. That'll balance out to 27 million. So the third year, he'll have no more guaranteed money, and he'll have $0 against the cap. Meaning, if he plays great, they can re-up him again. And if he's bad, they can cut him after 2 years with no salary cap ramifications. And he'll be 28 going back into free agency. It's a win-win. Listen to me. I'm all about football players and guys that actually care about it. He, to me, is more of a celebrity than he is a football player. The whole Instagram feed of over 1 million followers. The whole TikTok over 1 million followers. Disrespecting other teams' logos in the middle of the field by dancing. I don't want him. I'm not touching him for what he's asking for. Something about 14 million, something around those lines. I'm not touching him for that price. I don't want him. Y'all guys can have him. I'm good. I want football players that care.
Yeah.
I don't think he does.
I hear you, man.
Third is finally the whole quarterback situation. Okay. Listen, in regards to whoever they draft, I'm more of a Zach Wilson fan. I don't know who said Justin Fields is more accurate to him. He needs to watch film. That is absolutely absurd.
Was Grant weird?
Neither here nor there. Neither here nor there.
Was Grant?
Neither here nor there. But here's the thing with me. It's a win-win situation because we've seen Sam Darnold over the last 3 years, and he's been horrible. Even if they draft a rookie, even if it's horrible, he's still going to be just as bad as Sam Darnold was for us for 3 years at a lower cost, and now we still have another 2 years to develop him and to see if he's good. Now, if he's just as bad as Sam, we can release him in about 3 years, and then we got a couple more picks coming up, and we can still draft another quarterback. So I would rather get rid of Sam now, save the $8 million in cap space, something along the line. Get Fields or Wilson. Hopefully it's Wilson. Start with him because he's not going to be as bad as Sam was the last 3 years. If anything, he's going to be as bad or even a little bit better. So it makes more sense.
I like
Start
that.
the clock. Get Sam Darnold back out of here. Again, he can see ghosts in Alaska. I don't care. Right now, what I want is Zach Wilson. I'm telling you guys, is going to be a star. He has everything.
I like it.
Moxie, swagger. I think he's going to be a rock star. He's going to be a great player.
I like that.
Start the clock. Get rid of Sam. He's not going to be as bad as Sam was, and he could be potentially at great upside, cheaper, and we can still have salary cap next year to develop more around him.
Before you go.
In the draft,
Sorry, go ahead. Keep going. You're good.
yeah, get the guards in the draft. Pick up Sherman if you want. You know, get a Trey Turner if he's available for a 1-year deal at one of the guard spots. Get another guard, and then we got the ball rolling. We take Wilson at 2. We can get an edge at 23. We can get pretty much another guard at 34 or a corner at 34. A running back with the second, third round pick, and maybe another edge with their first, third round pick. And we get the ball rolling. Again, Mike, relax. Corey Davis is going to be good.
Wait, don't go.
We love you. We love you, brother. Have a good night, man. Thank you so much.
I want to rebuttal.
Yo, peace, bro. He didn't want to talk to you. He just wanted to tell you.
Come on, man. I'll read you some straight fire. And then, this comes from love. This comes from love. And I love your points. I think you made great points, and especially on the Sam Darnold situation. I still want to know what you think happens to Joe D in the event that we run it back with Sam. I'd love to hear what you think, straight fire. But I love your points. I'm going to read this, though. This is from NBCSportsEdge.com. A top 3 sports entertainment resource.
Where are you going with this?
I'm just going to read this quote. Corey Davis signed to the $37.5 million contract, $27 million guaranteed. Corey Davis will most likely be, at best, a number 2 wide receiver for the New York Jets in the depth chart with Denzel Mims, James Crowder,
Jameson,
sorry. And, I'm sorry. No. So, yes, I'm sorry. I'm losing my place. At best, a number 2 wide receiver, but most likely could possibly sit at the number 3 wide receiver spot with that contract. I agree with the perception and the perspective that I gotten from you that in the world of number 2.
I'm just kidding. Dude! Just keep going.
You just ruined my thunder.
Keep going.
I just still feel I agree with Straight Fire. I agree with his points. I just think that, especially if we bring in Juju, I would love to know how everyone feels about the Corey Davis contract.
I don't think we're going to bring in Juju. I think it's pretty clear they're not going to go after any more big fish. I think they've already finished their big signing of the
Is that where we're finishing the stream at? Is that what we think?
I think they are done being aggressive in free agency. I think they will still sign people, but they're going to wait. They're going to take their time. They're going to wait for the market to slow down, and they're going to start picking people on the cheaper. I think that's what's going to happen. Anyway, having said that, though, Corey Davis, there's not really a lot of risk with him. That's kind of what Straight Fire mentioned to you. Only a 2-year deal. They can get out after 2 years. I do want to get to you, Grant Rude. So I did not say I applaud Wilson for throwing off platform. I applaud his ability to throw off platform. And I actually gave Fields a lot of credit for being able to throw with good mechanics. It was actually a little bit of the opposite of what you said. So Fields has very solid mechanics in my eyes. But Joe did mention something earlier, and this is something that I agree with. Anyone with cloud dissecting QBs will tell you that Fields throws to open guys, not throws guys open. And that does concern me. So if you watch the tape, there's a lot of scenarios where Justin Fields doesn't really have to make reads in the offense. Now, of course, there are examples of him making reads. Don't get me wrong. But in a lot of situations, he was kind of just dropping back and really only needed to look at one side of the field, or really only needed to pay attention to what was happening with a streak route, because they do a lot of deeper passing. And I just think that that's the part that I worry about with Justin Fields. I feel like he has a little bit more to learn with progressions and making sure that he gets the ball out pretty quickly.
He stares those receivers down.
A little bit. He has it. It's on film. He does do it a little bit more than other prospects.
I'm going based off the championship game. We had some clear examples where we were playing back the recording or the DVR recording. Remember, we were playing it back, just watching his line of sight with what he was watching, and some of them. It usually was in the situations where he was under the most duress, so he didn't really go through his reads when he felt like he was under pressure.
Right.
But still, and you guys know, chat. In the NFL, they're gonna tear him to pieces on that stuff.
I don't agree though. Here's the thing: Josh Allen came into the NFL with flaws.
I'm not saying he can't get better. I'm just saying that first year.
That's what I'm talking about. So, Josh Allen came into the NFL with flaws, and the Bills did a phenomenal job of building around him and building a culture around him where he could succeed. And they let him, in this year, they let him be him.
Oh, absolutely.
He was slinging the ball all over the place. He was running a lot. And that's who Josh Allen is, and he was explosive this past year. And I'm not saying that he is Josh Allen, but what I am saying is like, just because we say that Justin Fields has a negative doesn't mean that he can't be great in the NFL. He has the ability, and I have said that many times. I think that he has the opportunity to be a really good football player in the NFL. It's more a matter of the support around him and the coaching that he receives. So we just have to wait and see. So Future TV says, I would like to see the New York Jets look into Kevin King. I know he might not be perfect in our defensive scheme, but he might be a good choice. Thoughts? Is Kevin King the cornerback from the Packers? I need you to confirm that before I talk about Kevin King. I'm pretty sure who that is. If you could confirm that for me in the chat, then I will chat you up on him. I'm pretty sure he's a Packer, though, and if he is, I have a strong opinion on him, so I will let you know as soon as you can confirm that. I will definitely give you a heads up on that. All right, we're going to our last segment here, so here we go. No, he's saying yes, Packers. So Kevin King, he concerns me actually. So he got burned a lot in the secondary, and it's one of the reasons why they moved on from him and let him go. The Packers, if they draft a player, which they did, they drafted him. If they draft a player and they're good, they generally keep their own. The Packers have been a really good, consistent team with like if they're good, they don't really like lose them in like trade, trade negotiations. Like you don't really see that a lot with the Packers. Yeah, so Kevin King, they let him go, number one. And number two, he has been burned pretty badly, especially this past year. In the playoffs, he gave up a touchdown against the Buccaneers in the NFC Championship game. It was a situation where the Packers, all they had to do was prevent a touchdown. And he was out of position, got crisped on the outside by Tyler Johnson, I think it was. Or it was the dude from, I can't remember what his name is. I think it was either Tyler Johnson or the Scotty Miller guy. I can't remember who it was. But he got burnt in a bad situation, and I would pass on Kevin King. That's my way of saying I would pass, because I think that he is one of those dudes where he hasn't really panned out. Maybe with good coaching he could improve. So I'm just not sure. So he's saying he'll be fired, period. Who are you talking about? Who's getting fired? Tell me who you're referring to. I need to know.
Who's on first?
Yeah. All right, so our last topic, we're just going to kind of go around the NFL real quick. Signings around the NFL. So there are some players that were signed to contracts that I thought were good, and then there were some contracts that I didn't like. I can go first if you'd like.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the players or the contracts that I liked was the William Jackson, the cornerback from the Bengals. The Washington football team signed him, and he's a really solid cornerback. He's young. He has playing experience, and he performed pretty well for the Bengals. They got him, and they already have a really good pass rush with the Washington football team. So I feel like he's going to fit in really, really nicely with that defense. He's going to have really good support around him. So I just really like that signing. The Chiefs signed Joe Thuney, who a lot of Jets fans were bummed out to miss on. Just remember, this dude got a massive contract, 5 years. I think it was like $80 million. So Joe Thuney, great football player, good pass protector. I think it would have been a risk to sign him, and I think I only say it's a good move for the Chiefs because they're a win-now football team. They have Patrick Mahomes. We do not have Patrick Mahomes. And that's why he ultimately went to the Chiefs. He wanted to play for a winning football team. He probably wanted to play for Andy Reid. He wanted to play with Mahomes and have a shot at a Super Bowl. Right. So I give the Chiefs a lot of credit. It definitely will help protect Patrick Mahomes. We saw that was an issue in the Super Bowl. So I thought that was a good move for them. The Browns signed the safety John Johnson, I think, from the LA Rams.
That was mine. Yeah, that was a good signing.
Very good signing. The Browns have a weak safety spot on their defense, and this is going to help in their coverage and in their run defense. So I like the move. John Johnson's a really nice football player.
You haven't said one player that I thought you would say.
I have more players. Why don't you go ahead and give me a couple you got?
I'm not going to pronounce his name. Wait. The guy you did a video.
Yannick Ngakoue. Yeah, Yannick Ngakoue.
I was like, man, they signed him. I think if I remember the contract money, it was a steal. I felt like
it was like 2 years, 26, I think.
Oh, I thought it was like 20 even, but
I'm not sure. I don't remember the contract. I wanted the Jets to get Yannick, and I wanted the Jets to get another one. I would have loved to seen us go after 2 pass rushers. Again, this is kind of the vibe of the night. I'm a little bit down. We missed out on Curtis Samuel. And I think that the Jets are pumping their brakes on spending big. I think they will start signing people, but there's going to be a gap of time between those players that they initially wanted and then the players that they want to get good value on. So they're going to slow down a little bit in free agency. And again, I think that's the stance that Joe Douglas is taking.
How do you think he'll do with the Raiders, though?
That's a good question. He has been very consistent, and he's played on. This is his 4th team already, which is a bad look for Yannick. And I said that in the breakdown. Yannick being on 3 teams in 5 years, I think it was. That's not a good look. Like nobody's really interested in players that have moved around a lot like that. It just kind of gives a bad vibe. But the thing you cannot take away from Yannick is his production. He has had 8+ sacks every single season in the NFL. His entire career, 8 or more. And I know that 8's not elite, but it's pretty damn solid. And again, if he is one of the dudes on your defensive line, I think you could do a lot worse. So I think that was a good signing. I'm glad you mentioned it.
I thought Hunter Henry was a good signing for.
Tell me a little bit about why you like that one.
I mean, it was pricey though. I felt it was pricey. 3 years, $37.5 million.
So over $10 million a year.
Yeah, for sure.
It's about 12, right? About 12 million.
I thought the Bucks were smart with was it Shaquille Barrett?
Shaquille Barrett, yeah.
4 years, $68 million.
That was a lot of dough, though. They're in win now mode, though.
I thought I would be okay with that when compared to Bud Dupree and that signing.
I thought that was a lot of money.
That was a crazy amount of money.
Yeah.
$85 million?
Yeah, the Bud Dupree signing, I didn't write him on my list. I did not like that signing. It doesn't mean that I don't like Bud Dupree. He's a very solid pass rusher for sure. Elite, even you could even argue.
Yeah.
But he is coming off of an injury, and he is, I think, 28 or 29, so he is getting a little bit longer in the tooth.
You know what team follows us, chat? And brother, you know what team follows us?
Who?
I mean, and I'm not just talking this year. I'm talking like
Patriots. Our lives.
No, I'm talking our doppelganger, Washington football team.
What about them?
I thought their signings have been pretty solid, man.
Dude, I love the Washington.
They tagged Brandon
Scherf, yeah.
Yeah, so Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'm not taking away his history with the Jets. Screw that guy, okay? I'm just saying, he still puts up numbers. They made a move on cornerback and wide receiver with Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, no,
I think those are solid picks.
Yeah, no, I think they could have done a lot worse. Have an offseason.
Smart.
They got a good
Very
corner to play and to cover with a good pass rush.
I thought it was very smart.
They got a good wide receiver. They tagged their guard.
I think they got a similar rating to us.
I still think I almost called them the Redskins. The Washington football team, I feel like they have a chance to be a really good team, but they're missing that one ingredient, which is a quarterback. It could be interesting to see if I know they said that they weren't interested in Sam Darnold anymore, but they're only paying Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think, $10 million. I think that's what he got.
Yes, that's correct.
So they might be looking for a young QB like the Dolphins did with Tua. I have no idea. Who cares? Let's not even waste airspace on that. That was a bad
They went
look.
from Russell to Andy Dalton.
Yeah, the Bears pivoted to Andy Dalton. That was their pivot, which sucks.
Some people are alright with it, though. Have you seen that?
No.
I've read.
No.
I've seen that.
That was a bad move.
It's crazy.
A lot of people online were pretty much just laughing at them.
How does that happen?
That was their fallback plan.
That seems stupid.
It's not a good fallback plan. Let's see. So, back to Kevin King, excuse me. Future TV says, I just saw some people mention his name with his age, speed, and maybe just needing a change. I think he's a decent player, but at the same time, I think we have other options at the cornerback position. Future TV, it's all good, man. That's what we do. We disagree and we move on. I have no problem with you saying something that opposes me. I am not an expert, so just keep that in mind. That is like 100% okay on this channel, so...
Just like me and Grant.
Grant agrees with you, Mike. Finally, we have an agreement. Grant says Washington football team has had a promising free agency. Yes, they are building, and they're building well, I think. And they could be on the up and up in the NFC East. I think they have a chance to make some noise.
Finally, Grant.
Yeah.
Throw me a freaking bone.
Yep. So Joe Tooney says... Or excuse me,
Joe
Future.
Tooney. I was like, Joe Tooney?
Yeah, Joe Tooney's in the chat. So Future TV said Joe Tooney was an example of what the Jets did right with not signing him. Also could be said about a few offensive linemen that they didn't attempt to sign. That is coming up, sir. I have a don't like list as well.
You had a recommendation to sign Joe Tooney.
Joe Tooney.
Tooney. Sorry.
I would sign Joe Tooney, but not at the number that he got.
What did he get?
$580.
Wow.
5 years, $80 million.
Wow.
Yeah. Mega deal. He got a top of the line offensive lineman contract. He got paid. And I wouldn't have given that. I would have passed. And that's kind of what in my predictions video on the channel, I did not predict that we would sign Corey Linsley or Joe Tooney, and I did free agent profiles on both.
I don't believe you. Put it on the screen.
It is on. Dude, don't stop. Don't do that. Let's see. Grant Rude says, imagine what people would say about Bill if Tooney went to Tampa Bay. Sheesh. Yeah, I don't know about the Patriots. Their offseason has been interesting to say the least. They have been extremely aggressive. And not necessarily every player that they've signed have I been like, ooh, wow, that's so impressive. They signed Kevin Bourne from the 49ers. That's an okay signing. He's been an okay guy. They signed Nelson Aguilar. I like that move. That's not a bad move. He played well for the Las Vegas Raiders. They did spend a boatload on their tight end position. And that's actually one of the things that I said I liked about the Patriots offseason. But they did. They paid so much money for those tight ends, and they just drafted a couple the prior year. So they're going to have a weird situation going on at tight end. They have Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry, and then a couple that they drafted, I think, in the third round in 2020. So that's a weird situation for sure. Let's see. I'm no QB guru, but I think the exact opposite. I think Wilson will struggle when he sees what an actual pass rush is, but you're right. Only time will tell.
Can we get another call in here?
Yeah, Grant Rude, you're from Canada. We'll take the minutes. It's okay. You can call us for literally 30 seconds. What do you want in writing, Michelle? I need to know.
Yeah, Grant, give me a call, Grant.
So, Grant
I want to hear you. I want to talk to you, Imano.
Grant Rude says exactly what I said about Tyrod going to Houston. They're getting ready to draft a rookie at 2 after trading Watson to the Jets. I pray. That's the only thing I pray about at night.
I just saw Grant's other comment. Say that. Put that on the
screen. I will. So, if they trade for Watson, that would be as exciting. I'm sorry. It would be more exciting than pretty much any move that they could possibly make this offseason. If we land Deshaun Watson, even though he likes to rub his wiener against Basusas.
Oh, my God.
And I'm not making light of the situation.
Up for trial, though. Until proven guilty.
Yeah, so that's an interesting situation, the Deshaun Watson thing. So we don't know what happened. He very well could have been a creep. We've seen that happen in the NFL. Ben Roethlisberger had
Brown.
What's that?
Antonio Brown had a very similar situation.
Yeah, and
with an artist when he was getting painted in the nude, and then he thought that was the perfect reason to put his log on the the painter's shoulder, I think is what the news report said.
Yeah. So that situation has to sort itself out. I'm going to pretend like it didn't even come out, though. I'm just going to pretend like he didn't do what they say he did. I'm going to pretend like that report didn't come out. The player himself, Deshaun Watson, would change the franchise. The allegations are concerning, and I think that's probably why we might not see anything happen for a little bit. And it might take a couple of weeks. I don't think a team's going to pull the trigger until they know for sure what's going on there.
I think it would be. I don't know. That'd be interesting.
It's a weird situation to think about, but yeah, Deshaun Watson would change everything as far as what the Jets could be, what we want them to be. He's a top 5 quarterback. Some people say top 3. He is elite. There's no doubt about that. Grant Rude, he said, "This is not a truce, Mike. Don't even think about it." He doesn't agree with you, and I don't agree with you on many things.
What?
A lot of things.
Just on my face? On how I look?
This is why I love doing this online, and it's Red Sports. He's backing up Grant. Backing up Grant. I'm with Grant on Fields. I think he's the safest pick of the QBs.
Let's hear Straight Fire. Straight Fire, you're very passionate about the Zach Camp. Respond!
So, Red Sports, I don't know if you, I don't know where you live, but call into the show, man. We would love to hear your take on.
Someone, yeah, let's get a call.
We would love to hear from you on the channel. I am going to one more time let you know if you email me at nyjtoday@gmail.com, I will send you a free koozie. I do have 4 left to give, and I'd be happy to give that to anybody that's willing to give me their mailing address so you can have a free koozie. I promise you, I've mailed
What a
out like
deal.
6 or 7. They're free. They got a cool little Jets logo on
I
there.
think Joe
so
got the first, if I remember correctly.
it's been a while. I don't even remember, dude.
Joe Busted Knuckles got the first koozie.
So yeah, Red Sports, talk a little bit more about why you think he's the safest pick, and I'll throw it up here on the chat. So Grant Root is saying the masseuse thing is total BS. The lawyer went for an out-of-court settlement before even filing grievance in the courts. He's also McNair's neighbor. That is the part that is interesting, and I did read that. So, like he said, the lawyer is neighbors to the owner of the Houston Texans. It is a little fishy.
Yeah,
It is a little fishy. So, Future TV, I've said it. nyjtoday@gmail.com. It's literally our channel name. nyjtoday@gmail.com.
Come get your koozie, Future.
Yep, you can have a Jets koozie. It's yours for free.
Get your koozie.
Drink some beers as it gets warm
Yeah,
outside.
get it ready for the draft.
And listen, guys.
Future, if you're not in here for the draft, I'll forget you, man.
Yeah.
Forget you.
Well, and I just thought of something. I might actually stream the draft on our deck. Do it outside because we can do that.
I know. I'm getting shitted wasted.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little sloppy, but we'll keep it accurate and we'll keep it on
I have a
point.
drinking wheel. It's gonna have different challenges for John and I to do. There could be a component for you to win some swag. I haven't gone over that with John yet.
Yep.
But we're really pumped up about it.
Yeah, the draft's
Draft's
gonna be
really
fun.
important to us.
Yeah, and the and the draft is
Mike isn't allowed to
the draft is critical to this team building. I think we're all seeing that in free agency. As bad as I want it and as bad as you want it, we want them to sign players. It's so tempting in the moment, but giving out big contracts to multiple players is a risky proposition no matter how you slice it, and it does hurt because again, we really wanted Curtis Samuel. I still think that Juju's out there, but I don't think that the Jets are the ones that get him. I think they would have. I think if they wanted him, they would have already signed him. I think.
I agree with that.
I think he's probably hoping that they contact him because he wants to play in a big market, like some people mentioned. But I just don't think that that's going to work out.
Exactly why I think Sam's running it back because I think we would have traded him already.
I don't know, man. I don't agree. I think they're going to trade him. So Future TV
every
says,
day that
sorry, I
goes
had
by.
some damn Wi-Fi buffer as soon as you said the email. No worries, dude. No worries. Stupid daylight savings. Yes. All right, so before we go, last opportunity.
Do we have to go?
We do have to go. It's almost that
What if
time.
we just put the lobby back on and people could just call us? And that way I can banter with Grant on why he's full of shit.
So there are players that I didn't like, and I'm just going to quickly read through them for the free agency market. Corey Linsley got paid by the Chargers. He's a center. He's a very good center, but he did play on a really loaded offense with Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones. And they had also a very good offensive line around him. So Corey Linsley, 5 years. He's already almost, I think he is going to turn 30 this year. 5 years, $62.5 million. That's quite a bit of change for a guy who is basically on the downslope of his career. Defensive end Trey Hendrickson, who got paid more money per year than Carl Lawson. Trey Hendrickson, he was one of my players I wanted, and if they had signed him, I would have been right up there. That would have been just fine. But to get Carl cheaper and to know that Carl had higher production with the analytics, not necessarily the sack numbers. I feel like that was a savvy move by Joe Douglas. The Carl Lawson signing over Trey Hendrickson, I think worked out.
You're not worried about the injury history at all.
It's always a risk. Everybody can get hurt, and it is risky.
Did Trey have an injury history? I didn't.
No, Trey was one of those guys that he didn't get a lot of snaps early in his career, and this year he played 53% of the snaps on defense. and he produced. And that's why people were excited about him. They think he can produce
Right.
on a more consistent basis with more snaps. I didn't like the Kendrick Bourne signing by the Pats. I think people need to realize he's a backup. Aaron Jones, the running back, we can compliment his running style. He's a good running back.
Massive.
He just got bank,
Massive
4-year
contract.
deal, $48 million, so $12 million per year. And that's not outrageous, but for the running back position, I'm one of those guys.
Especially at his age.
Well, he's not old, but he's already been running in the NFL. And those guys, they fall off a cliff. I mean, NFL history has proven that they rarely last. Like
Except
running
for
back,
AP.
AP, and then there's Frank Gore. It's super duper rare for running backs to last. The only thing that is his benefit, I think, is he's only 27 this year.
Well, Emmett's in that group though of who.
Yeah,
lasted.
sure.
Emmett was 30 years old when he stopped. I think.
Oh no, Emmett was older than that. He was older.
35.
Yeah, he was older.
Yeah.
So it's pretty rare, and I agree. Grant Rood does throw a good comment in here. He definitely earned it. I ain't hating on Aaron Jones 1 minute. I just think that the contract's a little bit much for the running back position. You can find talent at the running back position in the draft. You can get them super cheap. They're young. And then actually, I'm glad that you mentioned it, and I'm glad I mentioned Aaron Jones. Javonte Williams, I mentioned him earlier. That's who I want the Jets to get to be the running back, and he should start. He should be the starter year one. Throw Javonte Williams out in the field. Let him run behind Mekhi Becton. Let him run behind Creed Humphrey and Wyatt Davis. If we draft these guys, that would be awesome to watch.
That's why I call my boy Grant. Dude, you make it a fun stream every time.
Yeah,
man.
we do.
It's me and you, bro. I'm gonna keep coming at you. Keep coming at me, man. But it comes from love.
Tonight was a quiet night, and we'll keep doing this every week. It doesn't matter if it's the same night, but we do appreciate you, Grant. We're gonna keep doing this, and we'll get some more people in here next time for sure.
Don't think this is a truce, though.
Yeah, no.
Not a truce.
So he said, is Williams available? I'm pretty sure he's talking about Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams, get this. Jamal Williams signed with the Lions. I hated that signing for them.
I thought that was shitty.
They have Swift. I can't remember his first name. I think it's DeAndre Swift. And they have Kerryon Johnson, who they drafted. Both of those players were drafted in the second round in like the last 3 years, I think.
Yeah.
So the signing is super weird. I don't understand the Jamal Williams signing at all.
I didn't make any sense of it. Straight Fire's got a paragraph in there.
Yeah, dude, I love this. This is what it's all about. So Straight Fire's coming at you. Red Sports. He says, I just don't agree with the safest pick in the draft as the QB. It's a spread offense. Everyone is always open, but when the pocket collapses, he makes bad reads. If his first read isn't there, he's running. So, I mean, again, I'm not singing the praises of Justin Fields. He's still my third quarterback in this draft. But there are concerns, like he said. I don't disagree with Straight Fire. The only thing I will say, and again, I mentioned it earlier, Josh Allen came into the NFL with serious red flags. So it really is about coaching, and it really is about building around a quarterback. If they take Justin Fields, and if he learns how to make good decisions, he can be a good quarterback. It's just a little bit riskier, I think, than Zach Wilson right now. That's my take on it. And again, feel free to disagree.
I think that was a great perspective.
It was quiet because Jets Talk 24/7 is live tonight. They're usually on Monday and Tuesday.
Oh, shit. Grant, man.
Yeah.
Grant coming in with the fucking key 2 cents, man.
It's all good. It's all good. Those guys are super cool. I actually, I've messaged them in the past, and they messaged me back. They're very, very friendly people. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. They are the top dogs.
Man.
Yeah.
No competition.
Yep. So, Future TV says I like Jamal Williams for Jets, but damn it. Yeah, it would have been nice to have Jamal Williams. I think that would have been an okay signing. Again, I still prefer to draft one, but I wouldn't have hated Jamal Williams. He's definitely a good running back.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And because I like to shit on the Patriots, Matt Judon, I didn't love that signing.
Yeah, in your face, Nate.
4 years,
Eat that,
$56
Patriots
million.
scum.
They paid him a lot of money, and he's 29, I think. So he's close to the end of his career as well. Having said that, though, I do like the signing. He does feel like a Patriot. He will fit in pretty nicely to that defense.
Another scumbag.
Yeah. So Grant Rood's keeping the conversation going. He says, I recommend watching Northwestern, then Clemson, then Alabama. The order they played in, bad, redemption, adversity. He's my guy.
Grant, I'm going to get you to call into this damn channel one day. I'm just telling you that right now.
Yeah.
It won't be tonight. I already know. I can already feed off of your energy. You're not going to call in tonight. But I'm going to get you your ass to call in. And when you do, I'm going to tear you a new one. Okay? All right, Grant? Not tonight, but sometime in the future, me and you are going to tango. Okay? Let me just tell you, I'm going to bring my dancing shoes.
All right, before we go, quick reminder. We're at about 300 subscribers right now. The goal is 400 before the draft. If we are at 400, we're giving away a $50 gift card to the Jets shop. You can shop. You can buy a new jersey
Get
for
yourself a jersey.
Right, you can buy yourself a jersey basically with that money. So go Jets. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're watching this and you're not subscribed.
Why don't we just hang out for just like 5 minutes? So we'll just chill. Let them call. One final call for calls.
We've already mentioned it. Future TV would love to come on one day. Yeah, dude, I know. You can definitely.
Call it now, man.
Yeah, you should call into the show. I mean, this would be a good audition for you. Straight Fire, absolutely.
Hey, Straight Fire.
It's always a good chat.
Stimulate the chat, man.
Yes.
We really appreciate it.
Yep, Straight Fire has been here
You've been calling in every week, man.
Yeah, from the beginning. Yeah, make it a weekly thing, dude. This is what we want from the channel.
I love hearing your thoughts, Straight Fire.
Grant Reeves says, I'll call in when my kids are sleeping. You'll hang up on my ass after nonstop rants on Fields over Wilson. Great show, guys. Love what you're doing. Appreciate you, brother. So anyway, we said like the channel, or excuse me, like the stream, subscribe. 400 is our goal for the draft.
Boom.
Get the Jet Shop gift card.
Boom.
We will see you guys next week. Same time, same place.
I love you guys, man.
Go Jets.
Let's do a Jet chant.
We'll do it on there.
Jets, Jets, Jets.
We'll see you guys next week. Go Jets.
Peace, guys.